Children, now let us start the new chapter, that is sound. Then what is sound? There are different forms of energy. You know that heat energy, light energy, and mechanical energy, chemical energy. Like this way, sound is also form of energy. Sound is also form of energy. Then how you can define sound? So you can define that sound is a form of energy which produces a sensation of hearing in our ears. Sound is a form of energy and its speciality means it produces a sensation of hearing in our ears. So you can say that sound is a form of energy which produces a sensation of hearing in our ears. You have been taught about the conservation of energy. What is that conservation of energy? Energy can be transformed from one state to another state or one form to another form. And energy can neither be created nor be destroyed. Total amount of energy before and after the transformation remains same. So here energy can be transformed. So here if you clap, sound is produced. So to produce this sound, you utilize your energy. So your energy is converted into sound energy. Here energy is converted into sound energy. The muscular energy is converted into kinetic energy. After that, that energy is converted into sound energy. So here the energy transformation gets ends in sound. So here let us learn about the production of sound, how sound is produced and how it is transmitted through medium and received by our ears. So children, write that sound. What is sound? Sound is a form of energy. Sound is a form of energy which produces the sensation of hearing in our ears. Sensation of hearing in our ears. So you write that sound is a form of energy which produces the sensation of hearing in our ears. To know about the production of sound, how does the sound produce? Children, you take a tuning fork. What is tuning fork? It is a vibrating object. So here is a figure of the tuning forks. It is having two prongs, that is the vibrating parts, and it is also having a shoulder and stem. It is a base and it is a foot piece. Set it vibrating by striking its prong on a rubber pad and bring it near your ear. So, do you hear any sound? Here you can hear the sound produced by the vibrating tuning forks. Here the prongs of a tuning forks are vibrating and at that time sound is produced. At that time sound is produced. So bring the vibrating tuning forks on the surface of the water touch the water surface and observe what happens. Here you can observe the spring formation, that is vibrating tuning forks forms the spring on the surface of the water. Here it is heated and it vibrates and produces the sound. And if the vibration stops, there is no any spring formation. Again heat and bring near the water suddenly, then you can observe the spring formation. Here what you have observed, the tuning forks vibrates, produces sound. You do one more activity. Suspend a table tennis ball or a small plastic ball by a thread from a support. Take a big needle and a thread. Put a knot at one end of the thread. And then with the help of the needle, pass the thread through the ball. Here make small hole and pass the thread through the hole. Touch the ball gently with the prong of a vibrating tuning fork. Bring the vibrating tuning fork near the ball. Here you touch the prong of a vibrating tuning fork. Observe what happens. Here you know that tuning forks vibrates, and because of this vibration the vibrating energy is transferred to the ball and the ball will displace us towards the opposite direction. See, here it is displaced toward this direction, and again here you can observe that here vibrating is a kinetic energy, and due to that energy this ball is displaced. So here you can clear that sound is a form of energy. Sound is a form of energy, and the vibrating tuning forks produces sound, and it also displaces the ball, that is by transforming its energy to the ball. So sound is a form of energy. So it become clear that sound can be produced by striking the objects, and in the some activities we have produced sound by striking the tuning fork. You can also produce sound by plucking, scratching, rubbing, blowing or shaking different objects. So right, sound can be produced by sound can be produced by so write that sound can be produced by plucking, scratching, rubbing, blowing or shaking different objects, or shaking different object, shaking different objects. So we said the objects vibrating and produce sound in all this situation. By plucking also there is vibration, by scratching also there is vibration, by rubbing also there is vibration, by blowing also there is vibration, by shaking also there is vibration. Then what is vibration? Vibration means kind of rapid to and fro motion. Rapid to and fro motion of an object. So you can write what is vibration. Kind of rapid to and fro Motion of an object. Motion of an object is called vibration, and vibration is also kind of oscillatory motion. Vibration is a type of oscillatory motion. Here to and fro motion of an object is called oscillatory motion, and in vibration there is to and fro motion of an object is there, so it is also called oscillatory motion. Oscillatory motion. And in human, sound of the human voice is produced due to the vibrations in the vocal cords. Each human being is having vocal cord. The sound is produced due to the vibrations in the vocal cords. And when a bird flaps its wings, we can hear the sound. There is also oscillation. That is also oscillatory motion. So take examples. For vibration and sound. Vibration and production of sound. And sound. So you can take when bird flaps its wings. When bird flaps its wings, sound will be produced. Sound will be produced. And also when the vocal cords vibrates, vocal cords of human being vibrates, sound will be produced. And also you can observe that when the stretched rubber band is plucked, it vibrates and produces sounds. So you take a stretched rubber band. When plucked, vibrates and produces sound. Vibrates and produces sound. Produces sound. Here you know that the sound will be produced by the vibration of the objects, and we will hear the sound. And how the sound reaches our ear? You know that there must be three conditions for the sound. One is the vibrating body, and the second one is the medium to travel the sound from the source of sound to the ears of the listener, and also here to sense the sound, ear must be there. So receiver of the sound must be there. So to produce the sound, vibrating object must be there, and to propagate the sound, medium must be there, and to receive the sound, the sense organ, ear must be there. Now we know that the sound can be produced by vibrating objects. The matter or substance through which sound is transmitted is called medium. So, to propagate the sound from one place to another place, there must be medium. It may be air, or it may be liquid, or it may be solid. Whatever it may be, sound need any one of the medium to travel from one place to another place. Sound moves through a medium from the point of generation to the listener. To travel the sound from the point of generation to the listener, medium must be there. Sound moves through the medium from the point of generation to the listener. Sound is produced by vibrating objects. When an object vibrates, it sets the particles of the medium around it vibrate. Sound is produced by vibrating objects. When an object vibrates, it sets the particles of the medium around it vibrating. Consider here there is a tuning fork which is vibrating. Here the tuning fork is vibrating, then that vibration is transferred to the particles which is in the medium. It sets the particles of the medium around it vibrating. The particles do not travel all the way from the vibrating object to the ear. The particle will not travel. A particle of the medium in contact with the vibrating object is first displaced from its equilibrium position. Consider here there are the particles. The particles which are nearer to the vibrating objects displaced first from its equilibrium position. The particles which are near to the vibrating objects gets disturbed and displaces first. It then exerts a force on the adjacent particles. Here the first particle vibrates and the disturbance, that the vibration is transferred to the neighboring particle. And the first particles comes to the equilibrium position, comes to the rest. And the second particle vibrates. The second particle vibrates and again that second particles transfers or disturbs its next neighboring particles and it comes to the original position. And the third particle vibrates. In this way, the disturbance transfers from particle to particle. So what happens? Particle of the medium in contact with the vibrating object is first displaced from its equilibrium position. It then exerts a force on the adjacent particle, as a result of which the adjacent particles get displaced from its position at rest. After displacing, the particle comes back to its original position. This process continues in the medium till the sound reaching our ear. Consider here the disturbance or the vibrations transfers from particle to particle and sound reaches the ear. Sound reaches to the listener. Here the first particle remains in its position only. Second particles also remains in this place only. But what transfers here? The disturbance, the propagation is in the form of disturbance. Sound propagates means the vibration transfers from particle to particle and reaches the ear. Sound waves so need a material medium like air, water or any metal for their propagation. So here, because the disturbance must be transferred from particles to particles of the medium, so it requires material medium. So here what happens? The particles do not travel all the way from the vibrating objects to the ear. Particles of the medium in contact with the vibrating object is first displaced from its equilibrium position and it then exerts a force on the adjacent particles, as a result of which the adjacent particle gets displaced from its position of the rest. After displacing the adjacent particles of the first particle comes back to the original position, and next second particle vibrates and comes back to the original position after disturbing the next particle. After displacing the adjacent particles, the second particle also comes back to its original position. Then the third particle displaces by the second particle, and the third particle displaces the fourth particle, and third particle comes to the original position. This process continues in the medium till the sound reaches your ear. The disturbance created by a source of the sound in the medium travels through the medium and not the particles of the medium. Here the particle vibrates and comes to its original position and remains in that position only, but the disturbance created by the vibrating body transfers from particles to particles, and the end particle which is near to your ear gets disturbed and vibrates and gives messages of sound to your ear. So what is wave here? Wave is a disturbance that moves through a medium when the particles of the medium set neighboring particles into motion. Here propagation of sound means it is a propagation of disturbance created in the medium. Propagation of disturbance created in the medium by the vibration of the object, and that is called wave. So what is wave? It is a disturbance that moves through a medium when the particles of the medium set neighboring particles into motion. They in turn produce similar motion in others. The particles of the medium do not move forward themselves, but the disturbance is carried forward. So what is carried forward? Only the disturbance is carried forward, not the particles. Particles will remain in its original position, but the disturbance will be transferred from particle to particle, and at the end it reaches the ear. So this is what happens during propagation of sound in a medium, and sound can be visualized as a wave. Sound waves are characterized by the motion of particles in the medium and are called mechanical wave. So you write wave. What is wave? First let us write wave. So what is wave? A wave is a disturbance that moves through a medium when the particles of the medium set neighboring particles into motion. Set neighboring particles into motion. Motion is also in the form of vibration. See, in the propagation of the sound, there is a vibration of the particles, and vibration of a particle is nothing but the kinetic energy, and you know that kinetic energy is a type of mechanical energy. So you can say that the sound is a mechanical wave. Sound is a mechanical wave. So you take sound is a mechanical wave. So right, sound waves are characterized by the motion of particles. Motion of particles. Motion of particles in the medium. In the medium and are called mechanical wave. And are called mechanical wave. Now let us go through the two types of waves. There are many types of waves you take. The two types of waves, one is longitudinal wave. So you take first one, that is longitudinal wave. Longitudinal wave. Second one you take transverse wave. Transverse wave. Transverse wave. Then what is longitudinal wave? Sound is a longitudinal wave because the particles of the medium vibrates in a direction parallel to the direction of the wave. Here you know that the first particle vibrates to and fro and it disturbs the second particle, and the second particle moves to and fro and comes to the original position. Similarly, third particle vibrates and move to and fro and comes to the original position. In this way, the particles of the medium moves forward and backward, and the waves also moves in this direction. So you can say that the direction of the movement of the wave is same in the direction of the movement of the particles of the medium. So you can say that it is a wave in which the particles of a medium vibrates in the direction parallel to the direction of the propagation of the wave. So it is called longitudinal wave. So you take that longitudinal wave. First one you take longitudinal wave. So what is longitudinal wave? The type of wave in which the particles of the medium oscillate or vibrate in a direction parallel to the direction of propagation of the wave. Propagation of the wave or disturbance. Propagation of the wave is called longitudinal wave. The type of wave in which the particles of the medium oscillate in a direction parallel to the direction of propagation of the wave is called longitudinal wave. The example, sound wave. Example for the longitudinal wave is sound wave. Here in the sound wave, the particles of the medium vibrates in the direction parallel to the direction of the propagation of the wave. Then second one you take transverse wave. Transverse wave. So it is a type of wave in which the particles of the medium oscillate in the direction perpendicular to the direction of propagation of the wave. Here in the longitudinal wave, the particles of the medium vibrate in a direction parallel to the direction of the propagation of the wave. In transverse wave, the particles of the medium vibrates in the direction perpendicular to the direction of the propagation of the wave. So you write the type of wave in which the particles of the medium oscillate in a direction perpendicular to the direction of propagation of the wave. So the type of wave in which the particles of the medium oscillate in a direction perpendicular to the direction of propagation of wave is called transverse wave. Transverse wave. That is about the transverse wave. Examples you know. So waves created in the water. Waves formed in the water. Then you can take electromagnetic wave. The second one is, you write electromagnetic wave. Electromagnetic wave. So which are the electromagnetic wave? Know that heat, light, radio, etc. Heat wave, light wave, radio wave, etc. These are the examples of electromagnetic wave. Now let us discuss about compression and rarefaction in sound waves. Air is the most common medium through which sound travels. When a vibrating object moves forward, it pushes and compresses the air in front of it, creating a region of high pressure. See here when the vibrating objects moves forward, you know that vibration means moving forward and backward direction. When the vibrating object moves forward, it pushes a region of air in front of it, creating a region of high pressure. It pushes and compresses. It pushes and compresses air in front of it, creating a region of high pressure. See here, in this region, high pressure of air is created as it moves forward, as the vibrating object moves forward. And this region is called compression. This region is called what? Compression. This compression starts to move away from the vibrating objects. Here, this compression moves away from the vibrating object. And now let us discuss about compression and rarefaction. What is compression and what is rarefaction in relation to the propagation of sound? Consider vibrating objects. You know that vibrating objects moves forward and backward, and air is the most common medium through which sound travels. When a vibrating object moves forward, vibrating object moves forward, it pushes and compresses the air in front of it, creating a region of high pressure. When vibrating object moves forward, it pushes the air. It pushes and compresses the air in front of it, creating a region of high pressure. Here there is a creation of high pressure region, that is due to the forward movement of the vibrating object. So this region is called compression. In short you can say it as C. This region of high air pressure is called compression. This compression starts to move away from the vibrating objects. This compression starts to move away from the vibrating of this full set comes here. This full set comes here. At the same time, what happens? At the same time, when the vibrating objects moves backward, here one set of compression is created and it moves forward. And in that area, in that region, there is a creation of low pressure. When the vibrating objects moves backward, it creates a region of low pressure called rarefaction. Here, this is the first compression formed and comes to this position, and the second stage, the rarefaction is formed. That is, when the vibrating objects moves backward. When the vibrating objects moves backward, there is a creation of the low pressure region, and this region is called rarefaction. That is called the rarefaction. As the object moves back and forth rapidly, series of compressions and rarefaction is created in the air. Series of here there is a compression and here is a rarefaction, here is a compression, here is a rarefaction, here is a compression. So first, when the vibrating object moves forward, here maximum air pressure region will be created, and that first one moves forward and goes towards in this direction. Next there will be rarefaction, second rarefaction it is, and next it is third one, next it is fourth one. This is fourth one, that is a rarefaction. This third one is a compression. So it is, you can say C1, C2, C3. If you take, this is R1, R2. Next again there will be R3. So series of compression and rarefactions forms due to the forward and backward movement of the vibrating objects. This make the sound wave that propagates through the medium. So compression is the region of the high pressure. And rarefaction is the region of low pressure. Pressure is related to the number of particles of a medium in a given volume. Here pressure in the sense number of particles of the medium in a given volume. Here you know that number of particles are maximum in this region, and in this region number of particles are minimum. Number of particles in a given volume is minimum in the rarefaction, and the number of particles in a given volume is maximum in the case of compression. More density of the particles in the medium gives more pressure, and less density of the particles in the medium gives less pressure. That creates compression and rarefaction. Thus, propagation of sound can be visualized as propagation of density variations. Here there is a propagation of density variation or propagation of pressure variation. So, sound propagates in the form of density variation or pressure variations. Here the pressure is decreased, pressure is increased, pressure is decreased, pressure is increased, or density is decreased, density is increased, density is decreased, density is increased. So here there is an increase and decrease in the density. So there is a variations in the density. Therefore you can say that propagation of sound can be visualized as a propagation of density variations or propagation of pressure variations. In this way, continuously there is a series of compression and rarefaction. CR will be continuously forms due to the forward and backward movement of the vibrating object. So this is about the compression and rarefaction. In your previous classes, you learned that sound needs a medium to travel. Medium means it may be air, water, any solid, etc. Sound is a mechanical wave and it needs a material medium like air, water, wood, steel, etc. for its propagation. Sound will not travel through the vacuum. It cannot travel through the vacuum. So, you can demonstrate an experiment to show that sound needs a medium to travel. So, take a electrical bell and an airtight glass bell jar. Take an electrical bell and a airtight glass bell jar. The bell jar is connected to a vacuum pump. See here, the bell jar is connected to a vacuum pump. Press the switch, you will be able to hear the bell. If the switch is on, here the bell will be ring and you can hear the sound produced by the ringing bell. Now start the vacuum pump. When the air in the jar is pumped out gradually, the sound becomes fainter. Here, as the air moves outward, where goes out, the sound gradually becomes fainter. Although the same current is passing through the bell, even though the bell is ringing, you can't hear the ringing of bell clearly. It becomes fainter. So after some time, when less air is left inside, the bell jar will hear very feeble sound. You can hear very feeble sound. And what will happen if the air is completely removed? You know that you can't hear the sound at all. Here, before removing the air, the ringing of bell was very clear to hear. Here, you can hear the bell very clearly. But when you start to remove the air, when the air starts to go out, quantity of air inside the bell jar goes on decreases and the ringing sound also becomes fainter and fainter. It becomes fainter and fainter. If you removed all the air from the bell jar, you can't hear any sound. Even though the switch is on, the bell is ringing, but you can't hear the ringing sound because air is not inside the bell jar, and the sound will not travel from the source of the sound to the listener. Source of the sound to the listener. Even though the sound is produced, even though the bell is ringing, you can't hear the ringing because there is no air inside. The sound will not through this vacuum, as there is a vacuum creation approximately that is nearer to the vacuum, and so you can't hear the sound which is producing inside the bell jar. So that shows that sound needs a medium to travel. The medium may be air, liquid or solid, gases, liquid or solids. Any material medium is required for the propagation of the sound. Sound cannot travel through vacuum. Sound cannot travel through vacuum. In this way, it is clear that sound needs a medium to travel. It cannot travel through vacuum.